Okay, well, Barry, welcome to Australia. Let's first of all talk a little bit about the US dollar. What is the future of the US dollar?
The dollar has been the world's currency, the leading global currency for half a century. I've been predicting that that situation cannot continue, and I'll keep predicting it until I'm right. In other words, the dollar has not lost significant ground to rivals in the last 5 or 10 years. And the other potential candidates for global currency status, the euro and the Chinese renminbi, have their problems. We will move ultimately to a world of multiple international and reserve currencies, where I continue to think the dollar, the euro, and the renminbi will be the important ones. But it will take time to get there. It'll probably take more time to get there than I thought when I started making these predictions maybe 5 years ago.
We've seen the US dollar recently start to appreciate again, particularly as the withdrawal of liquidity under the US Fed's tapering has commenced. Is this an opportunity for the US dollar to reassert its dominance as the global reserve currency?
I remain relatively positive on the US economy, more positive than the consensus. Bad weather this North American winter has created some negative news flow in terms of retail sales and residential construction. But the fundamentals for US growth, I think, are good. They're better than they have been for 5, 6, 7 years. That makes me positive about the prospects for the dollar. We're actually making a little more progress than I had thought in terms of financial regulation and financial reform in the United States as well. We're holding global banks to US capital and liquidity standards now, finally, for the first time. Those are good things from the point of view of the stability of markets. Put it this way, global currency needs 3 things. It needs size, stability, and liquidity. The US has a big platform for the dollar. It has liquid markets, but we need stable markets as well. Maybe we're getting there.
Barry, what does the structural decline in the US dollar, but perhaps more importantly, the potential for the renminbi to become a global reserve currency, mean for currencies in our region, in particular the Australian dollar and also perhaps the New Zealand dollar, both of which have found increasing favour with investors over the last couple of years?
I think the same argument that I made before about how we will be moving from a US dollar dominated system toward an international system where there can be multiple international and reserve currencies. That means there can be room for a handful of big ones and then another handful of smaller ones. We've already seen that investors have been looking to the Australian dollar, the Canadian dollar, the New Zealand dollar, the Swiss franc as supplementary sources of liquidity and diversification. There's no reason that that process should be reversed if the euro and the renminbi come on stream over time, for example. One little qualification would be that my friends tell me that lots of people, lots of traders like to hold Aussie dollars as kind of a proxy for the renminbi. So if they can hold the real thing, there is a question of whether they'll continue to want to hold the proxy.
Thanks for your insight today, Barry. Enjoy the rest of your time in Australia.
Thank you.